Happy Halloween! It is one of my favorite days of the entire year, Halloween, and before I take my daughter trick-or-treating, I thought it would be fun to come on here and show you a super easy Halloween dice tutorial. What's really fun about the technique I'm about to show you is that it can be used to make all sorts of dice. You can use this to make Christmas dice, Hanukkah dice, star dice, unicorn dice, Thanksgiving dice. We're basically going to be using like the thick, chunky glitter confetti. And because there's so many different styles of this available, the sky is truly the limit when it comes to how to apply this technique to future dice pours. But today, I'm going to show you for Halloween because it's Halloween. I do want to preface this by saying the dice are not fully completed. I really tried to get this set finished and polished and inked in time for this video, but life got in the way. And so I'm just going to show you the pour and the reveal. And then, because the dice aren't finished, I'm going to have you all vote on your favorite ink suggestions for this dice set. And when it is completely finished, I will post the results on a short so that you can still see the finished product. And hopefully I'll get that done later this week. Without further ado, let's go to the workshop. I have probably been sitting on these chunky Halloween confettis for at least 2 years, if not 3. I know my husband purchased them for me at the Target dollar spot for dice making a few years ago, and I just never did anything with them. But when I was trying to think about what would make an easy dice tutorial for Halloween, I remembered I had these and thought they were perfect. Because honestly, this is a really simple technique, and you can do a lot of different things with it to make it a more advanced technique. For what I'm doing to begin with, I am just laying down this confetti. I didn't want to use all pumpkins or all black cats. I thought the set would look far more interesting if it was black and orange. So I'm trying to alternate the black cats and the orange pumpkins so that there is an even disbursement of all of the elements. Now, obviously, I do have a D2 coin in here, so that will make this an 8-piece set. So I was trying to do 4 and 4, but then I realized that for the D20, I didn't want to just do one or the other. So I did both in the D20 slot, which ended up being a mistake, but we can talk more about that later. For now, I'm just alternating between the pumpkins and the black cats. And you see I have a couple different types of D6s. So I just did a variety, and I figured I'll probably sell this set with at least 2 of the D6s anyway. In this set, I have a rhombic D6, a regular square D6, and a square D6 with little ghosties. So lots of options. As always, the first step of pouring dice is mixing the resin. I am currently using my Paduo 2-part resin, so I do equal parts, part A and part B. And I always mix for 4 minutes. I either set a timer on my watch, or if I'm listening to music in the workshop, I will play an entire song. Right now, I've been listening to Life of a Showgirl, so I'm trying to average about 4 minutes in Taylor Swift songs. Once the resin is all mixed, I started by just pouring a little bit in each slot. Technically, you could just completely fill this up, but I've always gotten in the habit of doing about half and then coming around and doing the other half. I don't know if that's because I was like running out of resin a lot and having to remix when I was a baby dice maker, but I just still do it this way. You don't have to. You could just fill each slot all the way up if you wanted to. I did decide to make this technique slightly more advanced for my set. So here you see me mixing a little bit of the white Blanco Blanco alcohol ink. This is a little bit heavier than most other alcohol inks, so it's going to sink slightly. And I did this to just kind of create some little wispy clouds on top of the confetti. I also added just a little bit of my powdered glitter to give it a very minor ethereal effect. I did not want this to be a glitter heavy set, so I really only used a little bit. Here you see me using a pipette because I think the swirls are a little more defined when you use a pipette. And I have all of the slots of my mold filled about 2/3 at this point. And then I'm going to add in the white swirls, and then I will top it with the remainder of the clear translucent resin. Here they are, just hanging out. You can see this set already looks really cool. I definitely love black and orange for Halloween. It's just so classic for me. I always insert the pipette all the way to the bottom of the mold, and then as I do the swirls, I pull upward until I'm at the very top, and then I just pull it out. I usually only need 1 pipette full of resin for something like this, but if I don't fill it high enough, you may see me have to go back and get a little bit more of the white. But I really am not trying to make this a super heavy opaque effect. This is really more like the last Halloween tutorial I did, where we're just doing the sort of phantom ghost-like swirls that are still sort of half translucent and only half opaque. So we don't really need a lot. So once all of my swirls are done, I'm going to go back in with my clear translucent resin, and I'm just going to fill these all the way to the top. As you can tell, I'm doing this at full speed. It's not sped up. I go very slow when I'm doing this. I find that it helps avoid bubbles and big voids. It just makes it so that I am being more thoughtful and more careful about what I'm doing. I used to pour a lot of dice live on TikTok, and I've stopped doing that for a lot of different reasons. But I do think it made me a much more chaotic dice maker, and I certainly am more purposeful and make less mistakes when I'm really paying attention and I'm not doing lives. Here, I am just going to use a lighter to pop any of the surface bubbles. My pressure pot is going to shrink most of the bubbles that would have been created in the resin, but it's always good to get those surface bubbles if you can. I also sort of push very gently on the sides of the molds just to make sure any additional bubbles don't rise up to the top. And then I decided to add a little bit of the white and a little bit of the clear to the lid of this mold, just because the white swirls I did were so soft that I figured adding a little bit more to the top would not be a bad thing. As always, the dice hang out in the pressure pot for about 24 hours, and when they are done, it's time to demold. I was thrilled to see that I didn't have any voids or bubbles when I demolded this set, and the flashing was actually really thin, which is always a good sign. Thick flashing is almost always a sign of raised faces, and depending on how severe the raised face is, it can really affect the integrity of the dice. But here we are looking at a basically flawless set. And you can see here, that white swirl is very, very subtle. I wanted it to look more like a fog, or like I said, like a spirit or a phantom. I didn't want it to be something that made it hard to see the cats or the pumpkin. It was just to give it a little extra spooky effect. If you wanted to do this with different types of chunky glitters or different types of confetti, you could use glitter or different color swirls or mica powder swirls or whatever it is that you want to really emphasize the confetti that you've put in your dice set. I spent a lot of time when I was prepping this pour making sure that I had a really nice alternating pattern of the cats and the pumpkins. For example, I have two different D4s in this mold. So I put a cat in one and a pumpkin in one. And I tried to put a cat or a pumpkin alternating in each of the D6s I have. I think this set actually has 4 D6s in it, but one of them is shamrocks, which doesn't make a lot of sense for a Halloween dice set anyway. And in the 2 D10s, I wanted to put a cat in one and a pumpkin in the other. I really did try to be mindful about how I oriented everything in this dice set, just to make it a little more fun when you're rolling on the table. As you can see, these turned out really, really well. Working with plain translucent resin can always be a little bit scary, and it's not something I necessarily recommend if you don't have a pressure pot, because clear translucent resin is very unforgiving. You can see every single bubble, every single little mistake. Here is where we were talking about that D20 and how I wish I hadn't put one of each of the confettis in it, because I really don't think you can see them both. Before I sell this set, I am actually seriously considering remaking it with either one, or maybe just making it solid orange or doing like an orange black confetti mix. I haven't decided yet, but if you have any ideas for how I can make this D20 stand out, I would love to hear them. And also leave a comment and let me know what color you think I should ink this dice set, because I think that black and orange are both out. We need some other spooky options. If you liked this video, please click like. If you want to see more videos like this in the future, hit that subscribe button. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, concerns about dice making, leave them here and I will do my best to answer all of those questions. Happy Halloween!